The Lead Live is brought to you by Peterson Health. We're at the Peterson Health Digital Studio at Pint and Plow Brewing Company, where we make magic happen every day. We turn chaos into delights. K-Pub, safe, reliable, and yours. Gibson's Discount Center. Our good friends over at Ken Stopel Ford. And Janelle Peralt, JP Properties, does the real estate report. She'll be here tomorrow. And the SLS Partnership, embrace the opportunity to excel in quality and imagination. And the Herring Printing Company. Also, Jody Tillman at New Fed Mortgage. And just a quick reminder that the printing folks, Joe and Joe.
The
Joes are 60 years in business. They're almost as old as, they were founded closer to the American Revolution.
I love how you tied it into your guest today.
Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Joe Herring is a son or daughter of the American Revolution, but he might be. Definitely a son of Texas Liberty, I think. I think they got some deep Texas roots. So, Leslie, are you a daughter of the American Revolution?
I have no idea.
What?
I don't. I know, like, my dad's side came in from Arkansas.
Yeah.
His mother's side, the grandmother's side, settled the North Fork of the Guadalupe. The other side didn't come from much. I don't know. Maybe. Well, these ladies can do the genealogy. They'll just take a little swab of your lip. I feel like it would have come up by now. We have family historians, and I feel like it would have come up. So I don't think so.
We can just take a little spit sample. They always carry a little jug around.
Yeah, do a nice little swab.
Yes, right. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye, Mayor. Mayor Joe Herring is leaving us. Yeah. He's abandoning us. I don't know what his deal is.
He's got a business to run.
I know. 60 years. He's been
60 years of printing. He's got 60 more to do.
He's only like 62. And
yeah.
He's been around.
He's going to live forever.
Yeah. We have other sponsors too, Leslie. The Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Hey, I know them.
They do stuff for us. I'm not sure what they do. Is Julie going to be on the show tomorrow, or is she going to blow me off tomorrow? It seems like it's
remains to be seen.
Seems like it's the time to be blown off by her. She's like, every week she's got some kind of other
She's
event.
A very busy lady.
I know. It's just ridiculous. All right. Yesterday, folks, we had chaos.
We had a hailstorm.
We had mayhem.
That was wild.
Let me just see. This was...
saw Miranda's car.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see Miranda's car.
Oh, my gosh. Julie Davis's daughter, car destroyed. Mm-hmm. Was that what happened?
Yeah, she lives off of Singing Wind. Her and Ian do.
Yeah, busted out the front windshield and the back windshield.
Wow.
The holes in the back windshield.
Yeah, it's gnarly. Look at somebody took a baseball bat to it.
Well, let me see. Depending on what part of town you were in.
Yeah.
Like, I live in South Kerrville. Behind Peterson Hospital, you could hear the hail from our house. We didn't get very much, and unfortunately, we got very little rain.
Oh, I live just right up the street, so I didn't get as much hail as everybody else, but I did get the baseball size hail because when it first hit the roof, I thought a gunshot had gone off because we all have 10 roofs on our little street. So all of our neighbors are outside being like, what happened? And then more of it came out.
Here is some footage from Acapulco, which suffered some significant flooding damage. They're closed to clean up. Lucy Wilkie, our DA, sent this from her house up on the front.
That is insane.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, look at that. And I got some other footage of that too. People were like, look at this.
Yeah, there was one of the big baseball size that hit, and I was like, I wanted to go grab it, but I was like, I don't want a concussion.
No.
Because it was coming hard and fast.
Yeah, I've got a lot of footage and videos of this today, and this storm came in pretty quickly and got severe in a hurry. Very fast. The lightning show was pretty spectacular as well. So people were reporting Randall, who's here.
Yeah, Randall lives behind me.
He reported a 2-inch hailstone.
I believe it.
So
I believe it.
There you go.
Seeing him come in. Yeah.
Here, I've got a couple photos here. Oh, here's one. Let me see if I can get this one up here for you guys to see. Look at this one, Leslie. That is shattered that windshield. Because I put a thing out there. I said we're hearing minor damage, and people are like, no minor damage here.
There has been some pretty massive damage.
Pretty massive damage.
People that were caught at work. Yeah.
People that were on the interstate.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh my God, driving through that's.
Yeah, and you're driving 80 miles an hour.
That is a nightmare.
This one, this car was pretty much wiped out. Here's another one right here. Look at this one. So, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like if you're on the interstate and you can't even see what's going on.
I'm so sorry. I'm just glad people are okay.
So we were seeing reports of minor damage, and then people were sending me notes like, "Oh no, Lewis, the damage was significant." So, anyway, that was the news last night. Yeah, I mean between, gosh, what time did that thing start at?
It was 7:30-ish, getting into 8. Like it was like just like that nice evening time.
Yeah, like
and you're like, oh, we're gonna get some rain. Just kidding.
We're gonna get the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Here's a truck photo that somebody sent me. That's front
body damage.
Yeah, that was significant. I came down to Pine and Plow to kind of see what was going on, and the parking garage was jam packed.
Yes, everybody was getting their cars in.
Everyone was getting their cars.
My neighbors was getting their cars over because the way it was coming in too was at an angle where it would have just decimated everyone's windshields.
Right. And I came over here to Pine Plow, and there's over at the bank there's a little covered parking area. And let me just say this. There are some people in this town who are just jackasses. And this one guy had parked his vehicle diagonally to take up 2 spots.
Oh.
Sounds about right.
You know, like there's no excuse for that. No excuse whatsoever for that. So, yeah, if you have, I have so many photos from the event yesterday. I'm just trying to process all of them. Like I woke up this morning and there was like 70 messages, you know, from people that were saying, "Oh my gosh, this storm." That's the thing though that people are afraid of. It's the hail.
Yeah. The body damage alone.
This is why we can't get insurance. And Randall just got a new roof. So it was very not a good evening. So I did get a spectacular lightning photo last night that I shared on Facebook. All right, Leslie, how was your weekend?
I had a lovely little weekend.
I want to share one other thing with you guys before we jump to our guests. I made it out to Polo, Leslie. It was delightful. They did a good job.
It's what it looked like.
Yeah,
it looked like it was a lovely time.
Really
Hopefully they raised a good little bit of money for them.
They did. You know, and Polo is fascinating to watch. There's a lot of waiting around for it and stuff, you know, for it to happen. And of course, the ultimate players, Jeepers Ragsdale.
I love that.
Jeepers Ragsdale.
I'm hoping Jeepers is this horse.
No, Jeepers is a person. He's a human being.
Jeepers Ragsdale is a great name for a horse. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shriner doesn't actually have a polo team. They have an equestrian program, but this was to benefit the team. And this is some of the footage we had from the match on Saturday afternoon. And it was fun. There were about 200 people were there.
That's good. That's a great little turnout.
Yeah. So, all right. That was what happened. That was
Saturday.
What a place to be.
I know. And to think like polo happens in West Kerr County at this time of year is starting up all the time. It's kind of when you go drive out there and you're like in a whole other world. I love it.
Let me see what else happened. What else did I get to this weekend?
You went to a lot of things.
Cowboy breakfast.
You
I
did.
have some video of that with Clifton making cowboy
coffee
out of a sock. And then we have what else do we have? We had that. We also had the Daughters of the American Revolution event. I must say sons because Bill Soul was there, and he was dressed up as George Washington.
Very cool.
Bill Soul's a very cool guy. He was telling me about his health issues, and then he proceeded to tell me about how he went to see the Eagles at the Sphere. I'm like, well, you're not that unhealthy. You went to see the Eagles at the Sphere. What the heck's wrong with you, Bill?
Well, maybe that helped his health.
Yeah, it probably did. It probably corrected some issues. And then I also went to the VK Garage Theater to see.
Yeah, they had opening weekend for Lost in Yonkers.
I felt really bad though. I wanted to watch the guy who was on the show, Jeff Jeffers, the other day. He was on the show on Friday. You missed it because you were stuck babysitting the office because
I was at work.
Yeah, Julie was blowing you off. Julie blew us off.
No, Julie was going to a travel show.
I know. She was looking for a reason not to talk to me. She's mad at me for some reason. I don't know what her deal is.
Yeah, that'll win her back.
I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to talk to her other half, her in-law half over here, and we'll get the record straight. But I felt bad because I was running around. I also went to baseball on Saturday.
It's a beautiful day on Saturday.
Yeah, and so I go to the VK Garage Theater, and it's dark. The seats are comfortable. It's lit, and I just got super sleepy. It was terrible.
Did you sleep through Lost in Yonkers?
I did not sleep, but I felt like if I can't make it.
That's not the plug for them that they were wanting, I don't think.
I know. It was really good.
And then the play revived you, right?
No, I had to get out. Because I was dying.
Okay.
I was falling. All right.
Okay. You probably need to go home.
I needed to go home.
Your blood sugar is probably low.
It was low. I needed to go home. I had a lot of photos to go through.
Yes.
So, anyway, but yeah, it was a delightful show. So, if you have not been, and we got so much going on this week too. We got meetings all day today. The commissioners' courts meeting. I wonder if the commissioner's court is always doing stuff that's somewhat questionable sometimes. And I'm on to you guys. I'm on to you. We'll see what happens. There's that meeting, and then there's the Ingram School District meeting tonight. There's a KISD meeting tonight.
That's a big day.
Big day. And then there's also tomorrow, there's the Kerrville City Council. There's Centerpoint School District. So if you like public meetings,
today's your day, buddy.
This is your week, man.
Buckle up.
Get ready to go. Lots of fun. Like I said, Leslie, on my tombstone, he is now Louis Amestoy, born 1971, died whenever. He's now free of public meetings. So
well, you went a hell of a line of work, my friend.
I saw. Yeah, I know. I saw a great thing the other day, though. I think I shared this with you. A guy posted on Instagram or something like that he wanted to be cremated. Mm-hmm. But he wanted an open casket funeral with the Muppet version of himself.
I love that.
Isn't that great?
I'm kind of mad I didn't think of it first.
Right.
I'm actually really mad I didn't think about it first because I was like, that's exactly what I want.
I also had another bit of breaking news this morning. Live from the River Hills Mall. This event was happening here. Look at this, Leslie.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at that.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're doing some...
Are they doing some jazzercise?
Jazzercise, line dancing kind of stuff.
I love this.
Look at that. Yeah.
This is how you repurpose a mall. This is very fun.
The fountains work too. I like the fountains.
I wish we had the audio.
Yeah. Well, I think
I want to know what they're stepping to. Yeah.
Right. If you have not been over to Schreiner University though, to see the American Revolution exhibit, it's really quite fun. Really well done. This was a long time process for the Daughters of the American Revolution. Dawn Cullum is here. She's one of these Daughters of the American Revolution. Who is your ancestor, Dawn? And who'd you bring with you today?
So today I have with me Susie McCullough, and she is our chapter historian for the Major James Kerr chapter here.
Major James Kerr, right.
And she was a longtime teacher, taught many of the students here in Kerrville at a variety of schools, including at Schreiner. Mm-hmm. She was at Schreiner University as well.
So. Very nice. So, I mean, I heard a story that everyone was like, where are we going to put this exhibit? And it was kind of like, how about Schreiner? And which seemed to be a really fitting place to have it. It's right there in the kind of I guess the foyer or the atrium, the grand hall.
They call it the grand hall.
The grand hall of the library there, the Logan Library. You spent some time in the Logan Library.
I did. Pretty familiar with that place.
What did you learn there? Did you get?
Well, I was probably studying for an exam.
Okay, all right, just checking. How did this exhibit come to be?
So the exhibit is designed by the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution along with the Battlefield Trust.
Okay.
And the partnership between the two organizations created it as part of the celebration of America 250. We're about to reach the 250th birthday of our nation. And so the exhibit was designed to go for 3 years leading up to America 250. And the national exhibits, there's a handful of them going across the nation. But Texas has a lot of chapters. We have over 200 chapters of Daughters of the American Revolution. So the Texas Society purchased our own. So the one that is on exhibit at Shriner belongs to the Texas Society Daughters of the American Revolution. And it's bigger.
Yeah.
Because in Texas, everything is bigger, right?
That's right, baby.
So what we did is the Texas Society added 2 additional panels that cover Texas' contribution to the American Revolution. Because a lot of people will think, oh, well, my ancestors weren't up in Boston or, in Massachusetts, so we're probably not part of it. But there was a big portion of Texas, New Spain at the time, that did contribute under Bernardo de Galvez. So there are a lot of Spanish patriots from Texas that contribute to the American Revolution.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the strengths of the exhibit was it did a good job of, hey, not only did the French not like the British, but the Spanish didn't like them either. And so so they were more than happy to help with this little endeavor. And I think that's sort of an untold piece. And I think the exhibit does a good job of telling the story of others who you may not have heard before. And by the way, Benedict Arnold's wife, she was a looker.
Oh.
The picture of her.
Is that why we got such delicious eggs?
I don't know. Yeah. No, not wrong, Benedict. Benedict Arnold was a traitor. So was his wife.
His wife was
2 things
too.
can exist at the same time.
His wife just played it off better, you know. When they got
She
to
sounds
her,
smarter.
she pretended like she didn't know anything that was going
Smart
on.
lady.
Right.
Buy him some time to escape.
Yeah, she was something else. That photo or the rendering of her is quite delightful. What's been the response so far from people who have come to this event?
We've had really great response, and we've it's a combination of our chapter, the Fredericksburg chapter, Ephraim Andrews, and the Bernie chapter, George W. Kendall. So we've been pulling people in from Bernie. We have had quite a few guests come from Bernie to see it.
Yeah.
From Bandera, we had some that came from Georgetown.
Yeah.
Yes, there was it was a homeschool group, and the history teacher in the homeschool group and their children and another mother and they came to see it.
Nice.
To get information about it.
Right.
So they could take it back to their.
Yeah.
They drove all the way from Georgetown just to see it.
Well, they had a delightful day. Good job. Let's make that. Can we log that?
Yeah, done. Are you kidding me?
Okay, good.
We probably ate lunch here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The first morning it was actually open on the 19th. We had a family from Houston that was here for spring break.
Oh, they came by.
Came in.
Oh, nice.
So I attribute that to the CVB because I know that when
It takes a village.
When these visitors come to Kerrville, they stop and get a calendar of events, and so they came from Houston and they loved it. And the 3 little boys were taking pictures behind the desk
Love
with Ben
that.
Franklin and George Washington. The one little boy kept holding the face of Ben Franklin in front of his, and finally
nice.
they told him, "Your mom wants your face." So,
I took a few pictures of people holding that in front of their faces.
Yes, I saw.
My grandkids were here visiting my daughter and two of my grandkids of her children, and they had a wonderful time. And we have pictures of my little 3-year-old granddaughter with
Diablo. Yes,
Diablo.
She had Diablo.
And you can sign the Declaration of Independence. There's some video pieces to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really well done historical pieces in there, like little biographies on people that have fought in the war. It just gives you a good reminder of the complexities of this, because a lot of Americans don't understand the Revolutionary War. They don't understand the how the battles or how it was fought, how precarious it was for George Washington to field an army at times. So. It's just well done.
Absolutely.
Don, who's your ancestor?
I have many. William Lassiter, North Carolina, is the one I initially joined the DAR on.
Okay.
On my mother's side.
What about you?
Mine is Zechariah Green.
Okay.
And I did not know that he was my ancestor until 2 years ago. So I did not know that I could be a DAR member. And my parents never knew. They just thought, no, we weren't here, but I started doing Ancestry.
Yeah.
And I found a couple of Mayflower people, and somebody from Jamestown, too. So
wow.
They were 1600s.
Right.
Some of them, not everybody, but some.
I have my grandmother, my mother's mother. Now my mother's adopted, so this is kind of an asterisk, but it's still, my mother's mother, my grandmother, is a direct descendant of Ethan Allen.
Oh, wow.
Her paternal great grandmother directly descended from Ethan Allen. And in her obituary, the San Francisco Chronicle or the Examiner, one of the two papers in San Francisco when she died, lists her as that was in her obituary. So, and then then when we pulled back the DNA and found the biologics, it turns out that we're related to to George Washington's tailor.
All right.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is off the top of my head, but
we can make it up.
We can make it up, yeah. Yeah.
And we help people with their genealogy.
Yeah.
So if someone is interested, they just need to be able to provide us the first 3 generations, which is themselves, their parents, and their grandparents.
Yeah.
And then we have a fabulous registrar, Wanda Pooley.
Yeah.
And then her lineage research, Carla Corcoran. And the two of those ladies, they can find anything. If it's out there, they can
I love that.
Yeah. You know who you need to recruit for this? Kim Meismer from the city of Kerrville. You know Kim? Mm-hmm. She's related to everybody in the world.
It's pretty significant the amount of attachment she has to different people.
Like
and history.
She's literally related to like 35 presidents. I'm not kidding. It's incredible. Elvis, Kubla Khan, Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe and Elvis are direct descendants.
Yeah,
or in some capacity. It's wild.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. So
that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So we will help people find their lineage and research it if they're interested in membership. So.
That's awesome.
Be careful about making it up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
right. I know. Well, a lot of people do make up their histories. That was my life. My history was made up for us. You know, like, oh, well, you were this and this and this, and it turns out it was all nonsense.
Right. That family lore.
The family lore.
The family lore.
Yeah.
Well, I had an example of that. My great grandmother kept telling everybody we're related to George Washington, and everybody thought she was a crackpot.
Yeah.
And I found that his great grandmother was one of my great grandmother's sisters. So I didn't ever research it real deeply, but I found that
there was some evidence.
There was a connection.
Yeah.
A seed of truth in there that just maybe grew over time.
Well, a story that I've always wanted to write, and I've kind of dabbled in it before, is that people lose track of their relatives within 2 generations, basically.
Well, and there was a time it was probably really hard to keep track.
Yeah.
It was probably really easy to disappear and make up
of
a history.
Yeah. Lots of moving. Yeah. I mean, and so, or you've had some kind of cataclysmic thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I've looked at was that, like my mother's side, one of her relatives was killed at the Battle of Chickamauga during the Civil War. And that left that family destitute, and so that changed the whole trajectory of that. And so that's one historical event that happens, and it's very interesting to look at. But this work you guys are doing is really important as we head to that 250th anniversary coming up in 2026, right? Is that right?
26.
Next year.
Semi-quincentennial.
Wow, 250 years. No, you were not alive for the.
I wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah. I remember it vaguely.
I was alive. I just don't remember.
You're like, I don't remember. Yeah, you're like, I don't remember it, but
I was
sure it was
technically
great.
alive.
I was 5. I remember.
I was 3.
I remember it a bit. I remember.
So it was in 76. Yeah, it was 76.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a stupid question.
Also,
no, I wasn't quite even a twinkle. I don't think yet.
I do remember that in Bruce Jenner. Because it was the Olympics.
I was a 21-year-old Marine Corps lieutenant stationed in
Really?
Washington D.C.
So you were in the midst of it.
Oh yes, and went to see the fireworks and everything.
Oh, I bet.
Very cool.
That was very cool. First lieutenant in the Marine Corps.
Second lieutenant.
Second lieutenant.
Well, that wasn't where she finished. You have to ask her where she finished.
Yeah, where did you finish?
Well, I'm a retired Marine Corps colonel.
Oh my gosh.
In the reserves, I had a career with active and reserve.
Oh wow.
So
what was your job? What kind of work did you do?
I was in aviation logistics at first.
Okay.
And my husband was too. We're both retired Marines. But
were you allowed to be married at the time, or
yes,
were you? Okay.
Yes, and actually, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law were both in the Marine Corps in World War II.
Wow.
And the women, they kind of kicked him out at the end. And she, then she married him, and they, anyway. But then she was really happy to have somebody like me.
Yeah, right. And so you have multiple generations of Marines.
Yes, it's a family.
Got any Marine tattoos or anything? Or
I do not.
Huge back piece. Huge back piece. The whole.
That's pretty
now
good.
I have both my brothers-in-law were Marines. My husband was a Marine, and my nephew is now a Marine stationed in Germany.
Oh my gosh, yeah. My oldest lives on Camp Pendleton. He's in the Navy, but he lives on the Marine base. So, what a deal! That's amazing. Congrats! Thank you for your service. We appreciate that very much. So, but were you involved in any of the ceremonial events, or were just watching as a part
Not
of the
really.
military?
We were watching.
Yeah.
I was stationed at Quantico, which is about 30 miles south of D.C., and we just got to watch.
What a great story. Cool. There's a few retired colonels in this town, in this area, that have some deep experience in the. When did you retire?
2002.
Wow. Okay. You didn't want to go for a general?
No.
All right.
In the reserves, if you become a general, they're going to put you on active duty for full time. And I was teaching school.
You're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I don't blame you.
Right. I like that. We can just call you the Colonel. The Colonel. I love it. Fantastic. There was a lot of colonels running around there because there was you, and then there was Bill Soule is a retired colonel.
And there are some women that are pretty high ranked that are here in
Kerrville.
Yeah, right.
There are.
Yeah. Some of them are involved in some big events too. So I think there's another Marine retiree or Air Force. There's a couple of retirees that are here that are colonels. So who are women, and I'm very appreciative as well. Okay, so the event runs until when?
Until April the 4th. So
April the 4th.
Friday, April the 4th will be the last day that people can go and see the exhibit.
Okay.
And that's a Friday, and the library is only open till 4 o'clock on Fridays.
So you have about 2 weeks left.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get there. All right.
So there's plenty of time to still get there.
And it's free.
And it's free. And that's the most important thing. It's something that families can do. We also have 2 big brochures that are in Spanish. So if you have someone that, would read it easier in Spanish, we have Spanish versions as well.
I love that.
So it's a giant book, and each page is one of the panels. So
Very cool.
That it crosses the language barrier.
Honestly,
I love that.
You basically allow yourself about 25 to 30 minutes, read every panel, visit with people. It's really well done. I'm glad that I went to it.
And the panels themselves talk about ordinary people. So they're not talking about the generals.
Oh,
they're
right.
not
Yeah.
talking about it. They're talking about a map maker, a homemaker, a farmer, a drummer boy. And it's the choice that those people had to make. Are you going to stay loyal to the British government, or are you going to join the revolt, the Patriots? And you might have to be fighting your brother
Right.
Yeah.
and your neighbor. And so it was a big decision, and one they didn't take lightly.
And there's one really good panel where it's like the slave who stayed loyal and the slave who chose the other side, and the outcomes were mixed for both,
Right.
but it's really great context for sure.
And the Native Americans were the same way. Some
Right.
Indian tribes went with the British, and some Indian tribes went with the
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah,
So
right.
You had people choosing sides.
It's also giving probably a lot of context
Yes,
to whatever
yes.
those decisions were, because I'm
Right.
sure there were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second iPad does have the generals, the Benedict Arnold, his
Yeah.
wife,
Yeah.
Yeah.
George Washington, Nathaniel Greene, the people you would expect to see
Yeah.
are on the second iPad.
Yeah, exactly. Great job. Appreciate it very much.
Delightful.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you,
being
ladies.
here. Appreciate it very much. All right, we're going to throw you out now. So we got Linda and Karen are here. And with that, we're going to turn things over to Leslie to tell us about stuff and things. Leslie, do it.
We got it. We got another big week because, as we said, the American Revolution Experience, the traveling exhibit. You can see it at Shriner University at the library. Go. You have 2 weeks left. What better way? You just had a live plug. You saw all the reasons why you should go right here. Tonight, also at the Logan Library, it's Monday Night Fiction. Even more reason to go. So go check out the traveling exhibit, then stick around because Monday Night Fiction will be from 7 to 8 over at the library. Of the Earth exhibit over at the Hill Country Arts Foundation is alive and well over there, so you can see that this week. It's a free art exhibit, as well as exhibits over at the Arts and Cultural Center. Stunning stuff, and a lot of great local artists for you to peruse. As we get into the rest of it, you have the Friends of the Library book sale going on at the library on Wednesday from 1 to 3. You've also got on Thursday Sprouts going on at Riverside Nature Center. It's a free reading program for your pre-K and under kiddo. Get them signed up for that. 10:30 to 11:30. Colors of Compassion art fundraiser will also be going on Thursday from 11:30 to 2. It is Not Your Granny's bingo event at 6:30 on Thursday night at Arcadia Live. If you love you some bingo, go to this. It's a lot of fun. I know it typically sells out, but call because sometimes, or at least get on the waiting list because sometimes not everybody shows up. so you can get your bingo on and you can win some cool stuff. The pop-up songwriters circle at the Trailhead Beer Garden is also Thursday evening at 6:30. That is a fantastic way to see some very talented live musicians. We also have Johnny Adair playing at Howdy's on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. On Friday, the one-on-one with the naturalist over at Riverside Nature Center, 10 to 12. So if you have any questions or if you want to find out more about the Master Naturalist program, they'll be right there at Riverside. They also like to go live, so you can tune in and ask your questions there if you can't get there physically. As we get into the rest of it, a ton of live music happening on Friday evening. Over at Turtle Creek, Kyle Broll will be playing. Tim and Gary, I think, will be over at Cafe at the Ridge. There's a ton of live music happening. It's also a Star Party at Shriner. On Friday night at 6:30. Weather should be beautiful for that. Karaoke at Inn of the Hills, and the Flashbacks will be at the Wyo Ranch Hotel. Second weekend for Lost in Yonkers over at the Playhouse 2000 VK Garage. You are not going to want to fall asleep in it. That was just Lewis because he had low blood sugar. It's not because of the play.
The play is delightful.
Kids, it's a very talented
kids are great.
Cast. Yeah. 7:30 showing on Friday and Saturday, and a Sunday matinee. You've got John Bauman playing live at Arcadia on Friday night at 7:30. Get your tickets for that. That should be a great show. On Saturday, of course, the Farmers Markets, Hillside Harvest Market, 8 to 1, right at Carlson Law Firm. That's at 5 Points. And then if you meander into downtown Kerrville, you'll find Heart of the Hills Farmers Market. That's usually 10 to 2. Find all kinds of great goodies. Great way to support local businesses. At Shriner, they're having a disc golf tournament on Saturday at 10 a.m. So for all you disc golfers, stretch. Get your rotator cuff ready, whatever muscle group you use for that. It's also a family free day at the Museum of Western Art. So if you're a Kirk County resident, you can go enjoy the museum for free from 10 to 4. And they usually do some really cool activity that they love for you to take part in. It's great for the kids. Go enjoy. You have at Riverside the Hillside Stewardship Workshop from 10 to 2 on Saturday. That sounds like it's going to be a great thing to participate in. Turtle Creek has even more live music Saturday afternoon. Hunter Billingsley will be playing 3 to 6. Buddy Vargas will be playing as well. Chris and Bill will be here at Pine Plow from 6 to 8. And Brent Ryan will be playing over at Cafe at the Ridge Saturday night. Over at Inn of the Hills, Joe Bob Bar and Grill Band. I love that name. I hope they sell merch. They'll take the stage at 8. On Sunday, Bob Stewart's playing over at Gravity Check. And, of course, you have the matinee for Lost in Yonkers on Sunday. Over at Turtle Creek Olive and Vine, Sunday afternoon, Lee Winwright will be playing, another talented local artist. And then Heartbreak Outlaws finishing out your weekend Sunday night at Howdy's from 5 to 8. Lots of good stuff happening.
Very good. Very good. Every week, I think Maya said there was like 76 events this week, so every week there's something going on.
And then the weather's only getting nicer, so it's only going to keep amping up, which is very exciting.
Right. All right, speaking of events, there's one coming up here. Linda's here from New Hope Counseling. She brought Karen with her as well. Linda Wilborn, Karen Maddox, they're here. They're superstars. How are you two? Oh, by the way, Leslie, I'm so happy.
Okay, what are you happy about? I like when you're happy.
The 830 numbers have finally found me. For scams.
Oh, it's probably because of the hail.
Yeah, maybe.
It's they're calling to see if you need a new roof.
Oh, let me see. They left a voicemail. They left a voicemail.
It's all those little.
Let's see here. What do they say? Well, I don't call them. Dang it! I don't want to call them. I want to see what they said.
You don't want to call them live on the air?
No, they didn't leave a message.
Okay. It's probably those people.
Yeah. It said scam likely. So.
Yeah, well, they like to fly through after like a major storm like this.
They do. And we'll see that, and we'll see all the little hail repair things.
They're about to descend back on us.
Yeah, exactly. They're like
jokes on them. All my hail damages from that storm from 2023.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the 2021 I had, in May. It was May 2020. I was looking it up the other day, and I had the
you had the light fall on you.
The light fall on me.
Yeah.
On my car. Yes.
While he was in it, driving. Isn't that scary? Like a whole light, the stoplight receptacle fell on his windshield. Yeah. That's some Final Destination shit.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Holy.
Yeah. Linda and Karen are here. Tell us about your event coming up.
Oh, well, thanks for having us back again.
Yeah.
We just wanted to remind everybody that of our event on Thursday. That's at River Hill Country Club, Thursday, March 27th, this Thursday.
Sorry, I had the flyer here somewhere and it's disappeared.
Well, it's 11:30 to 2.
Disregard.
I found it.
You found
Colors of Compassion art function Thursday, March 27th, 11:30 to 2 at River Hill Country Club. There you go.
And it's a free event.
Yep.
And there's lunch and a light lunch and drinks.
Oh, really?
We're gonna have wine, mimosas, spritzers, tea, water.
Yes, the whole thing, right?
And finger foods, grazing table, meats, cheeses, vegetables, crackers, and dip.
Delightful.
And this is going to do what for you guys? This is for accessible counseling for all. How great is the need out there?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes. We have a waiting list. We've gotten it down to, I don't know, maybe 3 months.
Is it 3 months?
3
maybe?
months, I think. But yeah, about 25, 30 people. It was up to 80 at one time. So
So you're working your way through it.
yes. It helped to bring Karen on a few months back as another counselor. We only had a couple, we had 3 counselors, and then we've had Karen came on, and then we've had one leave. And we have had a big need. Lots of children. I work with children. A lot of the art that's going to be up for auction, silent auction, is done by the kids. Then we're going to have some local artists that have theirs on display for silent auction. They've donated. We're going to have live music, duet band with Clifton Pfeiffer and Bill Mako. Is that
Mako, right.
Yeah. And a couple of individual local country artists.
Nice.
Live art demonstration by Polly Temez, an artist from Bernie. And Melissa Muse, an artist who's painted one of the local murals.
She's terrific, by the way.
She is terrific.
Yeah.
Very talented lady.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's going to be there doing live art demonstrations.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We'll have testimonies about the work that people have done with us from adults and children. I've gotten some little clips that children have said about doing art during therapy. And we've got a great raffle. A lot of businesses have been really great about stepping up and donating raffle prizes. The tickets are going to be $10
Okay.
per ticket. Some of the prizes we have is dinner for 2 at Grape Juice. They also donated one night stay at a local B&B. We have a wooden log keepsake box by Rhodes Brothers Taxidermy and Game Processing. A wind chime donated by Plant House right across the street. A handcrafted quilt. That's from Giver Connection. Is that what?
Yes, Giver Connection. That's a local quilters group that meets weekly at Doyle Community Center. Then we have handcrafted cutting board set by a local woodwork artist.
Wow.
Nice. That's some great stuff.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
A 1-hour massage from Wilson and Siebert Chiropractic.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yes. And then we have some gift cards. We have Lake House, Trail Boss, Dickies, Billie Jean's, Cane's, Hometown Craft, and Books to Share.
Nice.
And we still have sponsorship opportunities for session sponsors for 2025. We hopefully we'd like some sustaining donors. Searching for businesses and individuals. It could be like for a yearly donation. And these people will get recognition at the event and on the website, social media for the duration of 2025. So just reach out to our office at 830-257-3009 or visit our website at www.newhopecounselingtx.com. Nice.
So. And this is, you guys provide such a critically important service because I think that the need is gotten to be even greater from folks. They just need so much of this as well. So we definitely, the services you guys provide is critically important as well. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a waiting list to get in, right?
Yeah, it's 3 months.
3 months. Oh, yeah.
It's okay. They've hit us with a lot of information.
Yeah.
3 months.
They've got work to do.
No wonder we need more.
Yeah, we rolled through a couple of pages here.
No, it's okay. This is a great event.
And we do see patients on a sliding scale basis.
Yeah.
And also my specialty is adults.
Okay.
25 and over.
Right. And it's such like I said, we talk about a mental health crisis, and in this
what's
country,
accessibility to mental health?
Yeah, it's accessibility. Just getting in to see somebody these days is almost impossible.
That's already daunting.
Yeah. Is there any? What is the future of New Hope Counseling? Do you think? What do you envision the future of this organization?
My hope is that we have a huge office filled with counselors, at least 10, and we have the availability to see clients upon registration.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say,
right.
Power in getting that there's no wait list, that you're able to just schedule an appointment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that's the hope.
Yeah, that's the hope, right? That's the hope.
And I think by addressing that hope is supporting this event.
Yeah.
It's one step closer.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is one of our first really big events. We've survived on grants a lot of times. Pretty much just grants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're trying to bring in other ways of gaining donations, sessions.
Right. Yeah. We're also showing the community how valuable you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then why they should support you. And that's important.
These are the things that we really need to, get behind too as a community, because like I said, there's the need is great, and for all ages as well.
Yes.
So there you go. All right. So the event is Thursday from 11:30 to 2 at River Hill Country Club. It's in the big house, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it
That
is.
should be a beautiful event. And you'll get all kinds of, you'll have a nice little lunch. That sounds delightful.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come in. It's come and go for,
Yeah.
so, if you get on your lunch hour and just grab some food and drink. And
the kids' art sounds cool. I love seeing children's art, and especially when it's a part of the event for live, and that makes the kids feel good because somebody bought my art. So I love that. I love when organizations do that.
Yeah, they kept asking, when is the art fundraiser going to be?
They're excited, as they should
are
be.
Excited.
Very cool.
There's several pieces with a lot of glitter, but
it's okay. Listen,
I Mod Podged it so it wouldn't come off.
You know what? Great. Sometimes that's just part of their art, right? Mm-hmm. And someone will recognize that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I guess Andrew and Gilbert are blowing us off.
No,
today.
they're not. They're right there.
No, they're waiting. They're waiting.
More people.
I can literally see them.
I can't see them at all.
They're hiding from you.
No.
Gilbert got a haircut.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, he
Thank
threw
you.
his heart
Thank you,
out.
guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so
Excited
much
for your
having
event,
us
and thank you for
again.
all that you do.
Yes,
That's
well done.
amazing.
You. Glad to be here.
All right. Glad you guys came by.
you.
We'll probably see you on Thursday too. We'll swing by and take some photos.
Okay.
All
looking
right.
forward
yeah,
to
that
it.
would be great.
Yes. Leslie.
Yeah.
Speaking of mental health crisis, I got a couple to discuss with you.
Okay, what do you got to discuss? Where would you like to start?
DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. By the way, Julie's going to be upset to know that Callie Lehman took off with the astronaut.
Good for her. Well, I think Julie will understand.
I think she'll understand.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I kind of felt bad giving it to her because it's kind of grubby, but she loved it. And I was like, Callie, you need to take this with you.
I found its right home.
And I'm sure that the brothers will see that and they'll just jam on it. Look, here's the deal. I don't know if anybody is ready for this yet. I know that Tawny Fontaine Jenner's not, but I don't remember when I signed. I know you can sell your loans, things like that, but I don't remember giving permission to Elon Musk to go look at my personal financial records. And get this, here's the ways that DOGE has gone after your personal data. Are you ready for this? They've accessed Social Security records. They've accessed tax records. They've accessed employment data. They've accessed financial records. And they have looked at the student loan information of 42 million borrowers, which could be a violation of federal law, the Federal Privacy Act of 1974. There's an exposure of classified information. There's an exposure of all of these things, because this has been done in probably the most haphazard way possible. On top of that, the Trump administration is now moving to protect Tesla in ways that have never been protected before. Like, when I protect the car company, no one protects the car company like I protect them. So he's like they're telling, in fact, the Attorney General told Jasmine Crockett, who is a congresswoman from Texas, that you better be careful what you say about Tesla. Threatened her as well. So, I don't know what the heck is happening here with some of this stuff. The Social Security Administration, Howard Lutnick, what's Lutnick's job, Andrew and Gilbert?
Commerce Secretary.
Commerce Secretary said if his 95-year-old grandmother didn't get her Social Security check, she wouldn't complain. If my 77-year-old mother didn't get her Social Security check, oh my God, the phone, she'd be down there. Mm-hmm. She'd be down there saying, "Where's my money? Where's my money?" Right? We're tipping towards crisis. And some of these folks that listen to these things, like I got a note today. I wrote a thing today about marijuana, and that you have one bill that says we should legalize it. One bill says we should criminalize it. You have all sorts of opinions all over the map about it. We did a story just the other day on marijuana, and that it passed, the ban for THC passed the Senate. And I tell you what, I've had a lot of angry readers, but we talked about this last week, Leslie.
Yeah.
They're super angry now.
Well, I think I don't know how you get that cat back in the bag.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't either.
Yeah. So good luck. Good luck. Good luck, Texas.
And I think that and I had a guy today send me a note. He's like, from Epic Times, right? Like, I'm not going to share anything from the Epic Times. They are run by a cult. They're not a legitimate news source as far as I'm concerned. So, but they're like, oh well, they
what was he wanting you to run?
Marijuana's bad. It's overrun Colorado cities, and it's like, yeah, it can be bad, no doubt about it. But
I also think you're not addressing real drugs that are far, far, far worse.
Yeah, right.
But anything's bad, and anything's bad. But also, are they addressing how alcohol is bad?
Yeah, no, of course not. No, of course not.
Why is that one okay?
Yeah.
What about that kratom stuff that's sold in the gas station?
There you go.
It literally functions like an opiate, and you can be physically dependent on it.
Yeah.
What about sold in gas stations?
What about bath salts?
What about
let's get into that.
What about gas station sushi? Gilbert, Andrew.
I don't know if that's addicting.
I'm sure there's
probably harmful.
I bet there's someone out there addicted to gas station sushi. They need real help.
That's only if you need a colon cleanse, I think.
They might be on kratom.
Yeah, I just find it interesting that is like a focal point when it's like there's literally something right beside it that, in my opinion, from what I've seen in my lifetime, and probably anybody knows anything about clinical drug abuse or substance use disorder, that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
like why don't we focus on that?
A little bit of breaking news, by the way. The Supreme Court has decided to not accept the appeal of casino mogul Steve Wynn to overturn New York Times versus Sullivan.
Yeah, coming at me like
which
that.
requires a showing of actual malice for public figures to hold newspapers and journalists liable for defamation at a high legal bar. This is one that I thought that they might have listened to. Because the error involving him was, I think, a little egregious. But it showed, though, that because this was a deal where they kind of went after Steve Wynn, AP did. They didn't really ever correct the issue. They didn't really apologize to it either. Like there was a way to get around this. But this is the second time since 2022 they've declined to take this up. Trump has asked for them to get rid of Sullivan versus New York Times, and Clarence Thomas has said that he would be agreeable to overturning it as well. Of course, but the Supreme Court denied this one as well. I'm just trying to remember. Wynn brought the question to the Supreme Court after Nevada's top court rejected Wynn's 2018 lawsuit against AP, which concerned a story that the Wired service published about two women's police reports detailing allegations of sexual misconduct against the casino mogul from the 1970s. Wynn had denied the allegations, and there was some errors in the reporting, I think, but not enough to this is kind of out of the Me Too movement as well. Not enough to overturn the whole thing as well. So that's kind of a big story as well. The economy last week, I think, tried its best to go down the toilet, but it didn't quite go down the toilet.
Well, one week is that's hard pressed.
Up today, it's up big today. 583 points right now, trading at 42,523.
Yeah, had a good day on Friday too.
Yeah,
it did, but still. I think it was 4 losing weeks in a row before that, and we're actually negative on the 3 major stock indexes year to date now.
Hyundai is going to build a $5 billion Louisiana steel mill, so that's good news for Louisiana. There's some, I guess, push here now that Trump might be softening on tariffs. Is that what we're hearing now, or that there's been enough sort of mayhem in the market to say maybe not such a good idea to get into these retaliatory tariffs? Or do you think he's still going to go down that path?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of why the market's up today. There was some news over the weekend that talked about how maybe Trump has realized that these tariff fights are really don't make a lot of sense, because there's really no winners in these types of things. And of course, if you're going to have a tariff fight with somebody you really don't like, not with your friends and neighbors and your allies. That usually doesn't inspire a lot of confidence from them. Whether or not that's true or not, I have no idea. I still think a lot of his rhetoric about tariffs is a negotiating ploy, trying to get people to discuss what's going on. And
how many of these tariffs are affecting Tesla?
Well, that's the other thing. It's a strange dynamic when you figure out that, okay, if we're talking about tariffs, it's going to affect somebody somewhere, and it's potentially possible it's going to help Tesla, because if you institute tariffs against, say, some of these Chinese EV makers, well, if they're not able to import their cars to the U.S., well, who's the next best choice? Maybe Tesla. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, but who knows? There's just a lot of weird things going on. And then, of course, you that's not even talking about the fact that because Tesla has such a preeminent position, I guess, in EVs in the United States, but it's run by somebody who's really taken off a lot of people, and there's a lot of protests against them. In fact, I think I saw this weekend there was a protest at a Tesla dealership in San Antonio. And several others.
There was one guy that was standing there on the side of the road in 281 somewhere that had like a picture of Tesla and Nazi stuff, and
those things will affect their bottom line, and frankly, if you're really unhappy with what's going on in that part of the world, whether it's Elon Musk's foray into politics or whether he's his Doge being the head of Doge. As a consumer, you have the right to vote with your money, and that's one way to get people's attention. Whether or not that's going to really do the trick, I don't know. But if enough people walk away from that company and what they're doing in terms of electric vehicles, then yeah, eventually it's going to affect Elon Musk in more ways than one.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of strange things going on right now. It's hard to tell what's really the driving force. Last week, of course, we had the Fed meeting where the Feds decided they weren't going to raise interest rates. However, they raised their projection for inflation, and they lowered their targets for growth, which those two things together are not good.
Yeah, right.
Bank of America came out this morning and said, listen, this is like, it's a that SEP report, those projections from the Fed last week was a stagflationary environment is what they described for the next 9 months, basically until we get into 2026.
And that's not good. The other thing too is the Fed did leave intact their idea of cutting interest rates later this year by at least 2 times, which is possible if we have a recession.
Yeah.
However, it's going to be really tough for them to do if inflation keeps sticking around like they think it might be. So it's a really hard time right now to understand what's going on, what's the driving force. It seems to be every day it's a new theme that is driving what's going on. And so it's hard to know what to do right now.
And the other thing that we've been talking about is the difference between the stock market and the economy. I mentioned this on your show last week, but those two things are not the same thing, right? Like the stock market lives in the future, 6 to 12 months, and is backed up by companies' profits and the expectations of what those profits are going to be out to the 6 to 12 month mark into the future. And the economy kind of lives in hindsight. We get data that someone like an entity like the Federal Reserve follows. All of that's in hindsight. There's some projection or some forward-looking data that makes its way in there through surveys and opinion polls and that kind of thing. But most of that data is backward-looking.
Yeah.
So there can be a disconnect there, and the times of heightened uncertainty, that disconnect can sometimes be intensified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think the interesting thing that's happening here now is that there is a direct correlation in Trump's sort of appetite for things and the markets. And so like today, there's some indications that they're gonna scale back these tariffs. They're not going to be as bad as people thought they were going to be.
Sure.
And so
the markets were up off that.
The markets were up off
the equity markets, the stock markets. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're living in the future, and they're like, oh, it's not as bad as we thought. Okay, so maybe companies are able to make more money than we previously thought, and what happens when it goes up?
Yeah. It's an interesting time it must be every day you guys walk in and like, what's going to happen today?
That's exactly what we're doing.
There's nothing that's certain about this at all.
But I'll tell you what we've been doing for a lot of people, because all these questions are not uncommon. What we've been telling people to do lately is reevaluate your portfolio. Make sure that whatever it is you're invested in now, you're comfortable with over the next 6 to 12 month time frame, because I think we can all agree that probably volatility is coming back and the uncertainty will be there. And so, it's a good time to reevaluate what you're doing, make sure that you're comfortable, because what was working 6 months ago, a year ago, probably isn't going to work the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Maybe not as well anyway. And so a reevaluation might be in order, whether that's trimming back a little bit of your gainers from last year and the year before and adding to some of your not so strong positions for the past couple of years. That's probably not a bad idea. The other thing too, I would tell people, we've had a lot of customers call us and say, well, I've gotten beat up so badly, I'm all of a sudden want to be really conservative. Well,
yeah.
The trouble with that is that the only way you're going to get back to where you were is to be invested the way you were when that went down at the first place. So now's not the time to all of a sudden freak out and go ultra conservative. Probably now's the time to just reevaluate. And so, whether you visit with us or your own financial advisor, talk to somebody and don't get your information and your suggestion and advice from Facebook or Reddit or Instagram.
One of the news media outlets.
TikTok or even the media outlets. Yeah, the traditional media outlets, because they don't really have your personal interests at heart.
No.
Because they can't know it. And so speak to somebody.
Especially the Epic Times.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm familiar with the Epic Times, but you should just reevaluate and talk to somebody that you trust and reevaluate where you're at, because things will improve. They always do. It's just it might be a little choppy before they get better.
Yeah. It's going to be choppy for a while. Here's what Leslie, I don't understand this either. Andrew and Tristan Tate, why are they a thing? Why do men like these
I think
guys?
that's a question for men.
Yeah.
Why do men like them?
Yeah.
I think y'all should have that conversation.
Right.
And if you don't agree with them, you should probably be talking to your men friends that do.
I don't even.
I isn't accusing you.
No,
but
I
I'm
know,
saying
I know,
if you
but-
know men that do, that's a conversation you to have with them.
Okay, this is the uninformed person's perspective. Who is Andrew?
They are trash.
And
They are.
It got it. You get that? It's like I knew
I
they
would
were,
say,
and then that's how I got to Gilbert.
would you like to educate Gilbert on Andrew? Which is fair. I'm glad you don't know
They're
them.
misogynists, basically. Really obnoxious, and they're wanted for.
They're dangerous. They're dangerous people, and they reflect dangerous ideologies.
Yep.
Internet.
Yeah, sexualizing people and just ridiculous. So.
all right, okay.
Yeah, and the sad thing is like that stuff gets used because it's so outrageous, right? It's a good place to put ads.
I think it's also very targeted to young men.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
And so I would say if you have a son, Andrew, I would say maybe be paying Andrew.
Yeah.
You're going to have a daughter. I apologize.
Yeah.
Gilbert, if you have a son,
But I might have
I'd say start maybe, but not yet.
Yeah.
You have a girl coming. Pay attention to maybe like what he's consuming online.
Yeah.
Because there's pipelines that kind of get them to, and it is targeted to them specifically.
And and Dana White, who runs the UFC and is a member of Meta's board of directors, embraced them, warmly. Welcome back to America, boys. Like really, that's who you're gonna welcome back with open arms. These two clowns. So, who the Romanian officials, where they're wanted for human trafficking, have legitimate reasons to have them arrested. So I don't know.
If you have any respect for women, you should not support these men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, thank you for educating me.
Yeah.
I think
In
I've
a
heard
nutshell.
the name, but I don't really know what they're all about and what they represented or stood for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some scary stuff out there.
There's some scary stuff. Yeah. All right. By the way, the Epic Times is owned by Falun Gong.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Today was the first time ever hearing about Epic Times.
Yeah, Falun Gong.
What'd you call me?
Falun Gong. Phallic Gong. So, my lord.
Andrew Tate would love that.
Yeah, I know. All right. Anyways, this is something that's we've got a lot going on in the world today. What, Andrew? What kind of events do you have to deal with this week? How many events do you have to be at?
I have a luncheon this week.
Yeah.
Gilbert and I were just talking about that. We have some lunches scheduled, but other than that, man, just meeting clients and servicing what Gilbert was just explaining. That's what we're doing right now, is talking to clients about their portfolios, what they're doing, what their concerns are, what their outlook is, what their plans are. So that's really it, man.
Yeah.
We've actually picked up over the past few weeks several new clients that didn't have a relationship with a financial advisor. Either their advisor wasn't here in Texas or in Kerrville, or they didn't have one and had some money that they thought they should invest. And we've been fortunate. We've picked up several new clients that didn't have a relationship with anybody, and they had questions and they didn't know, and they knew me or knew Andrew from somewhere else, and they finally got around to asking questions, and we just kind of sat them down and said, well, here's where you're at. If you're okay with that, you're doing good. If you're not okay with that, then you need to make some changes, and you can either do it where you're at, or you can transfer it to us and we'll do the changes for you.
Yeah, right.
And so we've picked up several of those over the past few weeks. It's been interesting to say the least. We've got probably 4 or 5 active transfers in process, which, for us is actually okay. We'll take it.
The other thing that we've seen a lot of is people that I would even say from maybe like 55 to 75 age group inheriting money.
Oh, really?
From
We've
loved
had a
ones
couple of those too.
Yeah, usually from parents,
right,
that have passed away. So we've seen a good bit of that, and a lot of times those, if you haven't ever had brokerage or investment accounts before, you might not know what questions to ask. So that's where we come in. So you're like, I don't even know what I got. What do I do with it? How do I manage it? What is it?
How do we take care of it? How do we grow it? How do we not spend it on medical expenses? So
cannabis.
Right.
Yeah, cannabis.
And then the other thing is because of interest rates and the uncertainty around kind of where rates are going to be, and is this new normal the old normal? Is this the new normal that was the old normal? Before 08, that has driven a lot of interest into the annuity arena,
right,
because interest rates affect a lot of those products, and those products are typically more complex. There can be a lot of moving pieces and bells and whistles, but they are very powerful planning tools. So if you're trying to plan around retirement or maybe protecting your retirement assets because you don't want to dip into those or use those for medical expenses or something like that, there's specific products out there that we can talk to you about planning and try to implement
right.
to help you sleep better at night. And that way you're not exposed 100% to the whims of what's going on in the market, because you probably, if you don't like that and you're 100% exposed there, you probably had a tough time sleeping over the last
Oh yeah, exactly.
So that's some of the
last thing we
that
need
we can help solve for.
It's the last thing we need is to have difficulty sleeping. So, oh my gosh! All right, we got to get out of here. Leslie,
I'm disappointed. Okay, I know. Here's what I learned. I learned about the Epic Times, but also it's Epoch.
Yeah,
I would thought it was Epic, and now I'm disappointed because it's EPOCH.
Epoch Times.
Epoch Times. I learned about that today.
Yeah.
And the guy that runs it sounds like his name sounds like a penis. That's what I learned.
Phallic name.
Phallic name. Falun Gong. It's a religious movement.
I don't think it's meant for me. That's what I learned today. Probably won't be reading it.
Andrew, what'd you learn today?
Oh boy. What did I learn
I'm
today?
surprised you weren't out at the polo on.
I enjoyed your pictures, though.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they were
I
great.
think Andrew had a baby shower this weekend.
I did.
Oh, that's right. Dang it.
But
I RSVP'd and didn't show up.
No, you didn't actually. This was a different one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh,
Or maybe more than one.
Yeah, okay. All right.
That one is this coming weekend.
I will have a gift for you then, no matter what. I may not show up, but I'll have a gift for you. You know what? I'm gonna. Here's the number one gift for any baby shower.
show up.
Show up. No, you don't want to show up.
RSVP and follow through.
You don't want to show up.
What is your go-to gift?
A case of diapers.
Yes, you should always.
Sure.
You should always get
Can't
diapers.
go wrong. Don't buy toys and crap like that. They don't need it. Just buy diapers.
Well, we have a diaper raffle, so you can participate.
Yeah,
I'll just give you some diapers.
That is this Saturday. I'll remind you about it. Don't
All
worry.
right.
he could still forget.
Are diapers locked up now, or what? I mean, because remember they used to have the formula was all locked up and everything. The diapers used to be locked
They're
up.
not locked up. They're just really expensive. I guess it maybe eventually.
I think it's really hard to probably just walk out with diapers too. They
It's hard
take
to
up.
put
That's
it
a
in your
very
pants.
bulky. Yeah, you'll notice. It's a very bulky item.
Yeah. People like you get a big old box wrapped up and they're like, wow, look at that, that's exciting. What is that? Oh, it's diapers. Great.
From what I understand, parents love that though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think we got a lot this past
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
but
Because
You're gonna burn through them.
Yeah, you'll burn through like 6 or 7 a day. You feed your kid a bean burrito, it's over.
They cleaning it up later.
Right.
So I'm not sure what I learned today. I was sitting kind of afar when you were having really good discussions with your earlier guests. But I would say I learned about the Epoch Times and maybe some more insight from.
Did you guys have?
Elon
You guys
Musk.
okay with your vehicles?
Yes, actually, I got pea-size hail over in River Hill. We did.
Yeah.
Didn't see a lot. It lasted 5 minutes, but it was nice watching it roll in.
Yeah, where we live, we ended up with some hail, but not real bad stuff. And I was able to jump in my truck. There's a church right down the street from my house. They have like a covered front entrance. And since it was Sunday evening, there was nobody there. So I was able to pull in right there and avoided all the bad
Good.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's good.
I tell you what, though. I'll read your disclosure.
I will. Okay. Thank you. I thought you were about to say something really important.
No.
All right.
Read your disclosure. That's important, man.
Securities.
Yeah.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Next Financial Group, member FINRA, SIPC, Texas Hill Country Advisors is not an affiliate of Next. This material is not intended as an offer or solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security or other financial instrument. Past performance does not guarantee future performance. All the views expressed are those of Andrew Gay and Gilbert Pies and Texas Hill Country Advisors and not those of Next. The S&P 500 is a market cap weighted index composed of common stocks of 500 leading companies and leading industries of the U.S. economy. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average is a price weighted index of 30 actively traded blue chip stocks.
Here's a question from the audience.
Yes.
Is tariff manipulation market manipulation, which offers quick gain opportunities for those that have the money to take advantage? Are they gaming the system?
Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, any kind of short-term trading activity that causes huge fluctuations in prices is, yeah, you could easily call that.
You can make a case for that, but you could also make a case for, remember our Willy Wonka example, right? Yeah. You got all these things. You can make a case for every single one of those. Is it being done intentionally? I don't know. But, you know.
It would be a foolish way to do it, though, because it's so expensive and it involves so much risk.
Yeah, so many
There's
layers.
There's easier ways to make money than do that.
And the other thing I would say is, remember what I've talked about, too, previously on your show, how regardless of what the headline is, whether it's a policy issue, geopolitical issue, economic data, whatever, it backs into one of those narratives. Is this going to affect an inflationary environment, and then how is that going to affect markets, or is it going to be a growth story about, like, is it going to slow down economic growth, and then that would affect markets?
Right.
So it's maybe not so specifically like, is it that one thing that's going to affect the markets, but whatever it is can still be backed into one of those two narratives, and those two narratives are the driving forces and behind markets right now.
All right. Good deal.
Excellent.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done. You read that thing, right?
Yeah, he just got done.
Yeah, man.
Where are you
I'll
today?
read it again.
ADD, man, that's all right.
Yeah.
My brain is working.
I think also a reminder, go have lunch with New Hope Counseling on Thursday at River Hills.
Linda Wilburn's still here.
Yeah, go support them and help them make some money and buy some kids' art.
Tomorrow's show, Julie Davis may be here.
She might.
Wendy Jones might be here.
Okay.
Like Kyla Gazelle might be here.
Okay.
Janelle Peralt might be here.
Nice.
Elzeth Hetzler will be here for sure with Doug.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Love that.
So
Doug showed me his car.
Pretty cool.
The one he's been working, the Cobra he's working on.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
pretty
my
cool.
God. It's an impressive car. And he was like, it still needs a lot of work. And I was like, I think it's still really cool.
It sounds cool. Sounds very cool. So, hey, I also went to the Arcadia's wedding event. It was really nice.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was taking a little walk in the morning, and Juanita was pulling up, and she was like, "Are you going?" And I was like, "Not like this." Also, no. I don't think I'm your target demographic.
Yeah.
But I knew a lot of people that did go, and they loved it.
It was a good event. It was a good event. They did a good job. So, well done. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us here. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. See you soon.